Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going over the barrel that is on this rifle right here. This is the Brownells BTAC 300 Blackout 16-inch barrel. So first and foremost, why a 16-inch barrel? Well, a lot of folks simply don't want to either A, set up a rifle in a pistol configuration to get away with, or rather to not have to deal with the NFA, or B, people just don't want to deal with the NFA. So the 16-inch lets you use any sort of muzzle device that you want, and it's just a standard rifle like anything else. Now, 300 Blackout is sort of loaded to be optimized in shorter barrels, but it works just fine in 16-inch barrels as well. So what we're going to do is run 5 different loads through it today, just to see how accurate it is. Hopefully it doesn't get too hot and we can get some decent groups. I can already tell you I've shot a couple of groups off camera. 147 grain, which is what this is 0 for, the Freedom Munitions. We're shooting right around 2 inches. And then the 220 grain Freedom Munitions Hush, which is a subsonic round. We shot that, we were right around 2 inches as well. I'm not shooting any subsonic in this test simply because the 0 is just so different for supers and subs. So what we got on the rifle here is a primary arms. This is our ACSS Raptor scope that will be out soon. As of this video, it's not out yet. It's a first focal plane scope with the 7.62 by 3.9 or 300 Blackout reticle in there, BDC reticle. Like I said, first focal plane 1 to 6. It's plenty of magnification for what we're doing here. The target's downrange at 100 yards. Just a mil-spec trigger in there, and it's a free-floated barrel, as you guys can see. So that's pretty much it. Enough yapping from me. We'll start it out here with this load. This is the Hornady 125 grain hollow point American gunner round. So it should be coming out of there relatively fast. Again, it's zeroed for 147 grain Freedom, so I'm not really sure where the POI is going to be, but I guess we'll all find out together. Get my fancy tactical sock out, do some shooting. Well, you guys have a better idea of where those are than I do right now. So next up, we're gonna have some Sig Sauer. This is their 125 grain supersonic load as well, rated for 2,200 feet per second. And this one here came from Freedom Munitions. I should mention that the first 3 loads that we're shooting here today, although only one of them is Freedom Munitions branded, all 3 came from Freedom Munitions, and the code is down below on your screen here, so you guys can use that. If you're shopping over there, they sell not just their own brand, but other brands, as you guys can see with the Sig and the Hornady, and the code works across the board. So we'll see where this sucker goes. 5 more rounds on the way. Alrighty guys, so after seeing that group, I'm fairly confident. The reason I didn't see the American gunner group was because it went over the target. So I will probably reshoot that one at the end. One thing with 300 Blackout, kind of like I mentioned, different grains and stuff are gonna have very big POI shifts. So it's just kind of the nature of the beast. That's why, again, I'm not using any subsonic for this particular accuracy test, because it would just be way off. So next up is going to be the 110 grain VMAX bullet loaded by Freedom. And this is their new production stuff. We'll see how that does. All right, so even that stuff's sprinting high, and it's both are loaded by Freedom, but again, this one here is 37 grains lighter than the load at 0 and 4. So next up, we have some Gorilla ammunition. This has the Lehigh 110 grain controlled chaos bullet in it, and this one here, for those that didn't watch it, I did an ammo factory tour with Gorilla, and we shot some of this through gel. It's pretty nasty stuff. So if you guys haven't seen that, I recommend checking that video out. It's interesting for sure. So we'll see how this does in terms of accuracy out of this particular barrel. There's that one. And the last one that we're going to load here before we actually redo that Hornady one is going to be, this is some Federal Fusion. This is 150 grain, 300 blackout load, obviously. I did a gel test on this one, a dedicated gel test video for those of you guys looking to see it. You'll see the chrono numbers as well as what it did in gel. It's an impressive performer, particularly thinking hunting or something like that. Had, I think, if I remember correctly, like 22 or 23 inch consistent penetration and good expansion all the way around, but we'll see how it does in the accuracy department. All right, gonna load up 5 more rounds of that American Gunner here and redo that one. It might be on the paper, or at least the box, I'm not sure, but while we got everything set up, we will load it up here real quick and fast forward. We'll start up here in the corner and sort of work our way around like we did when we were shooting. We have the Hornady that we shot right there at the end. And you guys can see center to center, we're just a touch over 2 inches, so like 2 inches and 1/8, let's say, on that group. Then the next group up we had was the SIG sour ammunition, which was right here. Center to center, we're right at 1.5 inches with that load. And then we moved over here, I believe, and this was the Freedom and 110 grain. Just a touch under, so like 1 1/8 inches, let's say. Then we came down here with the Controlled Chaos load, 110 stuff from Gorilla. Center to center, we're right at 2.5 inches. And then here we had our Federal 150 grain, I believe, the Fusion stuff. So right there, about 2 inches and 5/8. So for sure the SIG ammo won the group contest for the day. Well, we know how it shoots, but a couple things about the barrel that I didn't mention so far is that it is made out of 4150 CMB steel. It has a 1-in-8 twist, and they call this the SOCOM profile. It's also sold as a package kit from Brownells, I believe, as of right now anyway. The barrel, the low profile gas block, and the pin and the gas tube all come for $139 over on their site. Of course, there's always coupon codes and stuff like that. Check the video description if you guys are looking for that, but that's a really good price on a barrel that seems to be pretty well made. The SOCOM profile has a little bit more meat out here on the front. Some of you guys are probably familiar with that. And this one here has a carbine length gas system. Now in the 300 Blackout community, there's sort of a debate, right? Is carbine length the best for a 16-inch barrel, or is pistol rather length the best for a 16-inch barrel? I don't really know. All I really care about though is that it's going to function both suppressed and not suppressed, and this one certainly does that. I also picked up a dead air flash hider over at Brownells, and you guys saw we did the accuracy test. We had 0 issues with it unsuppressed. I've been shooting it suppressed a ton, 0 issues with it that way, so it seems to function well, really in any condition, whether suppressed or unsuppressed. So the gas port has good sizing there, and with 300 Blackout, there's just a ton of different loads and pressure spikes that you don't have with like 5.56 and 2.23. That's more of a standardized type of round. So you know, the 110 grainers, they're screaming out of there, and then you know, you can literally double the weight of the bullet with the 220 grainer and still put it in the same round and fire it through the same barrel. So the accuracy might not be what some of you guys expect, but I wanted to sort of touch on that real quick. If you guys remember, it's 2018 now, so probably 3 or 4 years ago, Savage, they said they were going to bring out a rifle, a bolt action rifle in 300 Blackout. And if you go over to Savage's website right now, you're not going to see a rifle in 300 Blackout. And the reason Savage did that is that they said the round inherently wasn't accurate enough for their standards. So they were saying that they couldn't produce a rifle that was accurate enough with 300 Blackout for their standards. So they just literally never made one. So seems to be the case in my experience as well. I've found that 223 and 556 are more accurate than 300 Blackout, but 300 Blackout, as you guys saw here today, generally speaking, is accurate enough for any of us to use. So in that regards, it does just fine. So if you guys have any questions about the barrel that we didn't cover here in the video, you can always post down below in the comment section. You can also post over at my Facebook page as always. But thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I hope to see all of you in the next video.